Hey everybody, welcome back to my studio and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Well, it's summer here in Southern Alberta. It's getting hot outside. It's beautiful weather for a lot of people. Before summer hits, I get so many of my customers and clients and friends that come in and they ask me about where can they go to take pictures. Now, a lot of these people want to go somewhere exotic. Like they want to go to Yellowstone or they want to go to Africa or they want to go to Iceland or Australia. And they're expecting me to say, well, the only place to go is... But there's so many different places that you can go that it's ridiculous. So let's cover off some of those places that you can go, not only in the summertime, but all year long. Before we get into this video, I ask please that you would click on the like button for this video. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel, that you subscribe. And if you haven't been subscribed, make sure you're still subscribed to it. Look at my other videos. There's some great videos out there. At least I think so. So let's get into it. Where can you take nature and wildlife pictures that is not going to cost you a fortune, that's not going to break the bank, that's not going to take a month for you to get there or a month to be there? Where can you go? Well, let's start close to home, literally close to home. Let's start in the house. Let's start in your own backyard. I've shot amazing pictures of my wife's plants in the house. A white sheet behind them, snap some pictures. They look amazing. It's great to be around the house. You can go to the bathroom. You can grab extra gear. You can do whatever you want. You can grab a snack from the kitchen. You're not driving for a month to get there. It's great to shoot around the house. Then you can move into the backyard. You don't need a massive backyard. You can have a tiny backyard and still have lots of opportunities to take pictures. Now, I'm blessed with an amazing front yard and an amazing backyard. We have tons of plants with flowers on them. We have tons of insects, lots of birds. We have amazing things to shoot just in my own yard, but so do many people. There's lots of places that you can shoot around your own house at different times of the day. Moving a little bit further from the house, local parks. Now, this can be a neighborhood park or this can be a local park that's maybe 15 minutes away. They are amazing. The close parks, they're usually smaller. There's usually like a playground there, maybe some park benches. The local parks that are a little bit bigger have boat launches, washrooms, they have cooking shelters, they have picnic tables, they may have all different things. There may be a good-sized lake there. These places are great because there's plants, there's trees, there's insects, there's birds. Sometimes there's even animals like deer, raccoon. Oh, it's just amazing. There's skunks and foxes that you can see at these places. Sometimes you don't want the skunks, but hey, there's lots of things that you can photograph at these parks. And depending upon the size of the park, you can spend a lot of time there. Now, around our place, we have what's called storm ponds, and these are becoming more popular in different cities and different areas. And these are where the water flows to after a big rain. The water flows there, and then it slowly percolates out. It slowly goes down the drain, but there's usually some water left over. And these are amazing places to take pictures. You get birds, waterfowl, you get other animals. Just the other night, my wife texted me. She was walking around one of the local storm ponds, and she says, there's a fox over here hunting the geese. You don't get that everywhere, but you can find it at different places, and you can find different animals that are there. I know there's a storm pond just north of us a little ways where they get moose, where they get deer, where they get all different kinds of animals showing up there. Foxes, coyotes. There's tons of places like that that you can go. They don't have to be lakes. They can just be a storm pond. They can be a small drainage ditch. There's a drainage ditch by my house that's cut down a little bit into the soil, and there's a little bit of a valley around it. And the birds and stuff that live there are amazing. The insects, it's just amazing that you can shoot. So these places work out great. But let's go a little bit further from home. We've got our house. We've got local parks. We've got ponds. We got storm drains, storm ponds. But what else can we go to? Well, the local provincial parks around Alberta anyways, in Canada, and I think in the U.S. as well, they have state parks and stuff, are great places to go. These aren't the ones that are on everybody's travel itinerary. These are the ones that the locals know about. And they present great opportunities for so many different types of photography. Whether you want to just shoot the lake that's there with the sunset or the sunrise, or a boat on the lake, or the ice fishermen or the fly fishermen, or whether you want to shoot the animals that congregate around the lake, or you want to shoot the trees and stuff. There's so much that you can shoot at these places, and they're usually closer to home. Just from my house, within a half an hour drive, I have several provincial parks that I can go to. One is even a World Heritage Site, so I'm sort of blessed by that. And these are great places. All right, so let's get crazy. Let's go for a drive for maybe an hour, hour and a half, 2 hours. This opens up so many opportunities for so many people. Even if you're in big cities, it opens up so much that you can go and photograph. So from my house, just as an example, within an hour drive, let's go to an hour and a half drive because it opens up even more. Within an hour and a half drive from my house, we have several good-sized lakes. And I mean, they're good-sized lakes. Some with cliffs, some with nice rivers running into them, some with amazing rivers running out of them. It opens up some national parks that are, world-class national parks. It opens up so many different opportunities that you can go out to. Lakes, rivers, parks. It just opens up so many different opportunities. Story a few years ago that happened to me. It shocked me. It was a Saturday morning. I'd got up, had breakfast. It was a nice Saturday. My wife informed me that she was going to do some work around the house. I thought, well, what am I going to do? So I decided I'd toss my camera into the vehicle and I'd go for a little drive. I took my passport with me and I decided I'm going to head down to Glacier National Park. Now, Glacier National Park is just on the Alberta-US border. And it is an amazing park. It's part of Waterton Lakes National Park, or Glacier National Park, Peace Park. And it's just great. It's an hour and 20 minutes from my house. So I drove down there. I left around, I don't know what time it was, probably around 10 o'clock. I got down there before lunch, started taking some pictures. Not the best time of the day to take pictures, but I was down there more for just the fun of it than anything. And I was at this one location taking pictures, and this couple comes up to me, and they started chatting with me, and they informed me they were from New York, and that this was a once-in-a-lifetime trip. They had saved their entire life for this trip. And my jaw sort of dropped, and I went, oh. And they informed me how they had planned it out, and how they had done this, and how they had saved, and they were out there for 3 weeks, and how it was just the greatest thing ever, and then they looked at me and they said, where are you from? And I said, well, I'm from Alberta. Oh, really? How long are you down here for? And I said, well, honestly, I'm going to go home for supper. And they looked at me and they went, really? You live that close? I says, yeah. You can come down here anytime you like. I went, yeah. And that's the case for so many people. You may not live in Africa, but you may live in Africa. You may live next to a place where people from around the world go to travel to. You may live next to a beautiful ocean, or you may live next to an amazing national park, or it may be an hour drive from your house, an hour and a half drive from your house. It opens up so many different opportunities for provincial parks here in Canada, or state parks in the U.S., or national parks, or game reserves, or whatever. So look at those places. It doesn't have to be a week trip. It doesn't have to be a month trip. It can just be within half an hour or so of your house. Another area that works, or areas that work really well for taking pictures, and that is a lot of your game preserves, reserves, whatever they're called, a lot of your conservation areas, a lot of your wildlife centers, a lot of your bird centers. Just close to me, we have a place called the Birds of Prey Center. And they take in injured birds of prey, they rehabilitate them, and if they can, they release them. If not, they keep them there on the site. Well, you can go in and take pictures there. There's a wolf center an hour and a half from where I live, where they take in domesticated wolf dogs, and they keep them there so they have a good life and they don't have to be put down. Another hour past that place is a wolf sanctuary. There's so many different places that you can go to like that. One that some people get really offended at when I say this, but I go there. There's local zoos. Now, I'm not talking about the zoos where the animals are in cages with bars and stuff and it looks really horrible. I'm talking about the zoos, modern day zoos, that have enclosures that, no, they look like the natural area where the animals are from. Don't lie to people and say you went to Africa if you didn't. If you took a picture of a lion at a zoo, tell them you took a picture of a lion at the zoo. I know some big name photographers that go to zoos, go to nature centers, they take the pictures and then they tell these huge stories to go with them. No, don't lie about it, but you can go to these areas. Now, how about a little bit further? I'm not talking about the day trip or the 2-day trip or the 3-day of driving. I'm talking about just a little bit further. Well, usually within about 4 hours of most people's homes, it opens up a ton of things to do. From around my house, 4 hours, I can go down to Yellowstone. I can go down to a whole pile of places in the States. I can go to a lot of places in Alberta, probably half of Alberta was within a 4-hour driving range. I can go into southern Saskatchewan. I can go to the Saskatchewan Sandhills in just over 4 hours. I can go into British Columbia and into tons, and I mean tons and tons of lakes. And you don't have to spend a week or 2 or 3 there. You can just go for the day. I know a number of people who get up early in the morning, 6 a.m. They'll drive to a place, get there by 10:30. They'll take pictures for 2, 3, 4 hours, and then they'll drive back home. Now, it's not the best to shoot at those hours, but if that was what works, it works. So don't rule out places that are closer to home. Go to some of the places that are more fun to go to, more accessible to you to get the pictures that you want to get. By doing that, your photography will get better, and then you can actually go to some of the bigger places with a better photography level and get even better pictures when you get there. I'm not saying rule out the big trips. I'm not saying don't ever go on a big trip, but do some of the stuff closer to home. Enjoy what's around you and enjoy taking pictures just for the fun of taking pictures. So until next time, have yourself a wonderful day. Get out there and take some pictures where you can take pictures. And leave in the comments down below where you're from and what pictures you like to take that's close to home. And we'll talk to you next time. Bye-bye now.